So yeah, when you talk about aggression, it's very much about moving forward into positions like we're describing right there.
Now, it seems like a lot of that is judgment. It's a pretty thin line between effective aggression and derping into a situation that gets you killed quickly.
It is, and sometimes you don't know what you're aggressing into. You just realize something has to be done, and you just hope that it's the right choice.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with the paradigm of camo/draw is greater than exposure, is greater than armor, is greater than hit points?
I've seen it.
Okay.
Nope, I've never heard of it.
Bash has never heard of it. He probably understands it intuitively, but it's basically a hierarchy of defensive methods in that being outside of draw or spotting range is the best sort of defense, in that you cannot get shot back. It's the safest place to shoot from. The next best is to limit exposure. If you have to expose, then you try to use your armor in the optimal way, showing a strong panel at a good angle. And then, barring all of that, try to go into an engagement with a hit point advantage so that you can just straight up trade. Like I was saying with Bash versus that T-28, he had significant enough hit points that he could go ahead and just sort of punch his face.
Yeah, I was eating shots. I was trying to make a gap for you to get the kill shot in, and that's why I was holding my shot back.
One of the first things I noticed when I started watching replays was how often good players use hard cover instead of just trusting bushes, because I was noticing I got killed in bushes an awful lot.
Yeah, hard cover is best. That's sort of the exposure paradigm.
Mm-hmm.
Are you coming in platoon? Did I invite Gigamo? Somebody invited Gigamo.
Oh, just got something. There we go.
Let's have another 8 and see
Which
what we
replay
can
site
do.
do you usually use for uploads?
I use what replays, but some people like Noob Meter.
What reloads is really easy to use? The 71 or KT?
KT. Heavies are much easier to learn to play.
A lot harder to learn to master.
Yeah, it's fair. It's just easier to keep them out of trouble.
One thing I found when I got my low way too early is it's really easy to get into trouble you have no chance to move out of.
Yep.
The low isn't my idea of a fun tank.
Well, it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Got decent armor. It's got a good gun. It's just the whole very large, very boxy German.
We keep getting these terrible maps.
Yeah, I hate this map. Especially this position right here. If you have like a turreted TD holding like that area,
yeah,
it's ridiculous to try to push on them. That's why it's so broken at high tiers.
Already safe, outside a draw. It's terrible.
And generally they can force an alpha strike war, and TDs always win that.
Looking at the pre-map composition, they only have one good gun depression tank, but they have relatively high tier RD, and that they have tier 8 RD relative to us. RD safe is important. Unfortunately, there's not really any way to get this tank RD safe. And pretty much sure for you as well. Just have to hope for the best.
So out of curiosity, is this just something you learned from playing a lot of tanks, or do you go out and memorize stats?
Do you want me to go south in that? We're a bit weak there. We got an E4, but that's about it.
I don't know. Memorize which? The gun depression?
Like depression, view range, damage.
The wiki is an invaluable resource. I probably read it once a day.
I'm more of an intuitive guy than numbers and that, so I just kind of pick things up for feel.
Yeah, American tanks have depression, British tanks have depression.
German tanks frequently don't.
Not so much. I'm going to drop lights here, so I'm not going to drive from beyond this building until after I think the lights from that AMX 12T just have disappeared. You know what I mean? See how that KV-1S just got hammered? So now I'm going to push forward. And I'm pre-aimed at that Hellcat.
Okay, there's a B2 and a T-29 hull down.
It's fine. We can dig them out.
I'm getting some leg spikes too.
There's an IS-2 who's potentially shootable, so I'm trying to stay aimed on him, but no dice. Pushing up to help. He's smart enough not to. Not that he's particularly good, but, you know. Again, if you just sort of wave your cursor over things, you can get an idea of how much...
Okay, both already fired. We've got like 40 seconds or so of... This would be your time to move up into positions.
So I see this little ridge here.
I've died in spot maneuvers.
Took a shot from the Panther. Alright, you see how you're swung out wide, whereas I'm using the cover here?
Yeah.
I'm going to use the cover whenever possible.
I have a bad habit of swinging wide like that.
Now I can use a little more cover than you can, simply because...
Yeah, I couldn't press for a shot at the 32.
Right, but you need to just stay left. Sort of right on my left. We're trying to kill that T-32 right now because he's the most exposed.
I have a hard time getting depression on this stage here.
Ah, Diamond Cupola.
Nice shot?
Yeah, he's a one-shot now. Move between each shot, remember. You gotta avoid both RD and your enemies. We got a good old-fashioned armor-based brawl here.
Okay, South has two IS-6s. They're going to likely lose next few minutes.
32 is toast.
As well as the T-29.
Yep,
we're
gonna kill this T-29 and we're gonna go back. Alright, ready, Henkel? I'm gonna come straight across here and get one shot into him. We're gonna get a whole
coming over
slew.
top.
Good. And we flex back. Well, actually,
push
that's
on
not
in?
true. Yeah, one of us... Henkel, you go ahead and flex back with me. We gotta get back to base.
Okay.
Bash is gonna try his luck against an IS and an IS-2. He should have it, though.
So that's what teamwork
Oh, it's an IS-6 and an IS-2. Good news is we're uphill.
Yes.
We're keeping our eyes open for any shots that we might get, trying to get our draw boxes in place. See that Hellcat, for example.
Almost.
Trying to snipe off this IS-6 to support back south.
You just bumped me and knocked my reticle off.
Sorry. That tracks.
Big fat fatties downhill. But it got the Hellcat killed.
That last IS-6 should be like 1 or 2 shotable.
Based on where our T-71 is, where do we think the IS-6 is, Henkel? Based on where he is, I think he would be drawing him if he was coming across the road that leads to that side. So I think that they're going to be trying to 3v2 bash, and that's why I'm cutting this way.
Okay.
I'm not sure you can tell by from the terrain, but I'm just trying to peek spot into where these guys are. There we
We're
go.
way too far to see any of that. The IS-2 is pushing across. He, however, has 4 tanks looking in on him, even though some of them are low tiers. He's not a high tier tank. XVM tells me he's not a very good player. If you get a shot as he comes across that lane, please take it.
Got him. Well, shot him.
Perfect.
Should I try to finish him off? Never mind.
Yeah, actually. It's always worth it to finish a tank off, given that Bash and the other guy are in perfectly good places. And we know the positions of all their players.
He's behind rocks.
Oh, that's a bad shot.
Doesn't matter. You got that IS-2 Hinkle?
Last is directly where the
I'm about to go
button
after
said
him.
last.
He's behind rocks.
Perfect. Me and Bash have 2 angles on this IS-6 and a major pen advantage. And I have a ton of hit points.
And he bounced. It's over. I'm gonna ram him just for the extra damage. Should be into one-shotable range.
You might kill him before I even get a shot.
IS-2 down.
No, 21 bad roll. Okay, I'll repair.
Lots and lots and lots of walls.
Wow, he failed that hard.
Yeah, he did.
That was kind of a desperate trying not to get hit measure, but it worked.
Yep.
Have you already went over like statistics and consistency is what wins games, that sort of thing?
He's a regular Watt Labs reader, so I think he's good to go on that stuff. I can check though.
Well, I have a ton of potato games, and I know that is killing my stats because I still have a bad habit of reading the map totally wrong and just charging in. I also have a very bad habit of trying to squeeze out one extra shot and exposing myself and getting killed.
Yeah, you have a bad habit of sitting for a whole reload cycle, which is never a good thing. He who lives to the end does the most damage, basically.
Yeah, I need to keep working on that.
Pretty much, like, my survival rate is over 51%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go. Mine is not, because I'm a terrible player, but, you know.
Well, my survival rate right now is about 22%, so...
Yeah, if you begin to pull that up into the mid-40s, I mean, my recent is over 50% as well.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you want to be...
Recent's like 60, 65.
Yeah, I love it when your survival rate begins to be Unicum level, in that it's better than most people's win rate.
Pretty much. Well, it's actually a thing that as you win more, you also survive more, because you've already grasped the concept that you want to be alive to the end if possible.
Right.
Because you want most control over the battle.
So in that, we basically pushed a flank, and then flexed preemptively because we saw that there was a potential threat, but our flex caused them to split, and it was all good to go. I'm kind of glad that we get this map again. So again, looking at the pre-map reading, they have a Leo PTA and a Lorraine, which gives them sort of a medium advantage over us, in that we have primarily like TDs with the Jagtar, the 704, the T95, and the Tortoise for our 9s. So they're going to be a lot more flexible than us. Mm-hmm. It's going to be for us a lot about defending the flanks of our TDs and making sure that we enable them with spots and and just preserving ourselves. I mean, it's always about preserving yourself, but in this case, it's just about trying to make 0 damage trades where you do damage, you don't take damage.
Mm-hmm.
For this, I can't do the same approach as I last time because they have an M103 and a T30 that could possibly take that position and hold it better than I can.
Yeah, we're not top tier now. %er prevents us from getting out of spawn. It's the little things that count. It's the little things that keep you down that low. So again, we're going to be hugging K. Mm-hmm. They have a decent 1375 52%, who might know to go sit in the bush or have binocs or something.
Yeah, if you are an autoloader squid, you can get a shit ton of damage for free at the very start just by scouting.
I've had some really good games with the 71, with the T71 here.
Same with our WZ, that should probably wish I went middle low as well.
Remember I talked about RTDs having shots in that particular area? So we want to sort of try to pick up a position that'll bait our guys who are sitting at H4 into that position. Again, they've got 2 Lovas. Hopefully they push up to the south of the church. T44 is pushed up in that same place the other guy was. We'll try to get him out. We don't know where their 9s are. We are going to be tangling with a disadvantage. Oh,
yeah, because all of our TDs are back at base.
All of our 9s are mediums or TDs, exactly, and they have actual 9 heavies and mediums.
And our 9s are back at base too. That's a big
kill
thing.
Leo PTA, which is a big deal. Even though this Tiger Pete is a tier 7, he's got better frontal armor than I do, so I am pushing behind him, making sure that our Lorraine gets space. See how I let our Tiger Pete go in front of me? Bash, how are you? You okay?
Doing fine, but they're going to be pushing pretty hard into this stuff here.
There's a whole bunch of stuff right here. Now note that the middle lane with the IS is currently occupied. We got to shoot him first. He pulled back, so now we can expose to the other. Careful, careful, you're too far out there showing a bad angle armor. See how I'm using the Tiger P as my cover?
Okay.
He's got good frontal. Use the Tiger P.
Yeah, I got a low trying to come into me, I need help. Never mind, he's backing up.
The IS just put a shot into me. Note the Tiger P is still full.
Yeah, I haven't been able to get a shot on the IS yet.
A tricky position. He just fired though, so we're good to move into the M103. Alright, this lows have not quite pushed around. We need to be careful. There is one low around here. I'm going to go ahead and cut inside. It's a risky maneuver. It could pay off, it could not pay off. You should cut with me. Come on in. Get right up against this church. Let's get this Panther 2 killed, or this low killed. One or the other. I'll kill the low, you shoot the Panther 2.
The low's on fire and I can take the shot.
Panther 2 pulled back. Got us. Careful, careful. Remember what I said about TDs.
Point.
Now, if you're not spotted, you can. Quick shot.
Not spotted yet.
I got tracked right here. You don't want to be seen right here. I'm getting hit by a Panther 2 again. We gotta get in tight. Type 59's coming around on us. Tortoise is shooting me, by the way. That's why you don't want to be here. See? See? IS is still in place. You guys have big tank advantage. You don't have to do anything special. Just wait for him to expose. Oh, whip that one. That's unfortunate. Good. Pull into cover.
Can't believe I missed that.
So, remaining tanks are where?
Valley.
One tortoise in the middle, the rest are valley. Is what's in the valley going to hold?
Yeah.
On our team?
Our team it is.
Absolutely. There's 3 tier 9 TDs on the 4 line and 1 on the 2 line.
1375's running up fast.
Find a firing line as quickly as you can. It's a soft tank. He's behind a building. Go ahead and look at the tortoise. You're broadside to the tortoise now, dude. Yep, he's behind cover. You gotta get back in cover.
I can't see him. He's behind the building.
All right. Now the Lorraine's dead, so the tortoise can be killed. I suggest flanking the tortoise. He's got very hard frontal armor.
Tortoise got about 3 seconds.
Yep. You don't want to trade shots frontally with the tortoise, dude. You just want to swing out wide. Bash is right there. That's fine.
I'm just taking shots on my side.
Exactly. Now that you've got the side of the tortoise.
Now you've got easy pen shots.
See? Delicious.
Now I screwed up one of my angling shots there, but basically I ate 3 shots from the tortoise for no damage, besides that one.
Nice.
3 out of 4 ain't bad.
And that's side scraping using Space Timer. Like I probably took about 2,500 potential damage and only 1 damaging hit.
Looks like the T-30 was turning around. Taking a different angle around the corner this time.
See how I baited a shot?
See how Bash swung wide so